And good evening and welcome to another edition of Kearney Live. I'm Jim Dickerson along with Stacy Bratcher and Lynn Broughton. And it is that time of the week where we start with the news in Kearney. And unless you live in a rock or under a rock, or maybe you live in a rock, you would know that the Bulldogs are district champions.
Woohoo!
Correct.
So
That's awesome.
Congratulations to the football team. They will play on Saturday here in Kearney. That game is at 1 o'clock and will be broadcast on 102.7 FM KPGZ. And be sure to join Mike and I tomorrow for the Coach Minnick Show, and that'll be at 11:30. So we'll cover that. Moving ahead of news, a lot of controversy, and we're going to go to Lynn on this one.
I know nothing.
Because it's controversy. You don't even know
I
what I'm
ask
going to say yet.
questions. I even asked questions about that.
The bridge.
The bridge is open. Oh, half of it.
It's half open. So, Lynn, why is it half open? Let's talk about
That's
it.
a great question. Who knows the answers to that? I'm just thankful because I can exit off of it and exit on it as I'm heading home from work and going to work.
Nice.
So why is the second?
Because there's
Stacy,
still work to be
let's-
done on the Nation Road roundabout. It's not
The roundabout's
totally
actually nice.
complete done yet. Complete done. It's not complete done yet.
Completely done.
So, why
See, she knows.
why does the round, well, I guess you can't go that way. I guess that would be why.
Yeah.
Is it a timing issue? Did we,
They're saying that the rains we had, a
Delayed
month
it.
ago, delayed it and pushed it back. The word I got that when we did the ribbon cutting, the whole thing was supposed to have opened up a few days later, but apparently there were some things missed or still needed to be
wouldn't
completed.
wouldn't you like to be the guy that walked out there and goes, the roundabout's
On
not
the
done.
other side,
Yeah.
it's not ready.
It's all done
It's
with the
nice,
roundabout.
So
though, I think
I have not seen the roundabout, so I don't
it
know.
is nice.
But I'm sure it's great.
It's nice to have all that open.
So
The back
it will
way.
be open soon. When
I
can we
think they
expect
said
it to be?
November 17th is their projection
I thought they said
now.
mid-November, and we'll
Yeah.
let you know.
We're pretty much
So the end of the week.
right
Yeah,
now,
so
pretty
I-
much
Beginning of
is
next week?
mid-November, but we'll leave
Okay.
that alone. Let's welcome to the program executive producer Brian Watts. Brian, what do you have for us today?
Well, it's supposed to be open, and it is mid-November, but the 17th is when they were projected at being open.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Breaking news information.
Yeah, right. There it is.
So let's go to the other news of the day. For those of you who have not heard, I can't think of her name. Travis Kelce's girlfriend,
I'm not going to help you.
Taylor.
Taylor,
No.
changed the words to one of her songs and added Travis into it. And Travis has traveled to see her. And
Was it Travis?
that's
I
her.
thought she said Chiefs.
No, it's Travis.
Why-
Her boyfriend
okay.
is Travis.
No. I thought she changed the song and it was something that said Chiefs on it.
No, I can't.
When I read it, I don't know.
See,
Don't
you
know,
told
don't
me you lied.
I read
because
it.
you said you didn't know anything.
I was
about
asking
it.
you guys a bunch of questions because you guys are Chiefs fans and probably are all up on it.
Did the Browns win?
I'm a
The Browns
football
won,
fan, not
and I tell
a
you, I
Taylor
screamed
Swift
pretty
fan.
loud
Sorry.
because the Browns beat the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals lost, so we're all kind of tied for first, and we play the Steelers this week, so that'll be a good game at 1 o'clock.
And the Chiefs play the Eagles
That's
on
gonna be a good
Monday
game.
night coming up next week. And then, not to get into a big football thing because Stacy lives for this, but for those of you who watched Monday Night Football last night,
Ooh,
what a barn
Shocker.
burner that was.
Denver won.
Yeah, but did you see what happened?
I did not see it.
So at the last play of the game, they kick a field goal, and it's kind of a chip shot. Denver does, and they miss it. However,
No
the
penalty.
Bills had 12 players on the field on defense. And you're like, how does that even happen?
Wow.
And so then they kicked again and
I
won.
saw 25-22. So they won.
They won by at the last second on the field goal.
Wow.
Moving on.
That's interesting.
I will tell you this: if it were me, I would get some trucks out there and move all their stuff and get it out of there. What do you think, Lynn?
Well, the trucking industry is in a dire state. It's going to send huge shock waves to your wallet also. We'll talk about that next on Kearney Live.
Explore a place to visit. Explore knowledge. Explore fun. Explore relaxation. Explore adventure. Explore a hometown. Explore Kearney, Missouri.
Kearney Bulldog football is here, and you can listen to the game with live play-by-play action on the Bulldog Radio Network, right here on 102.7 FM, or our live stream on the KPGZ mobile app or at 1027KearneyMo.com. The Bulldog Radio Network will broadcast the game live on Saturday, November 18th, as the Bulldogs take on the Nevada Tigers. The 102.7 pregame show starts at 12:40 p.m. and the kickoff is at 1 p.m. Kearney Bulldog football. Catch the fever.
Welcome back to Kearney Live. Many are describing the trucking industry as experiencing a trucking recession or a freight recession. The global shipping industry has been in a freight recession this year, and the challenging economy conditions will continue into 2024. Watch this video.
Frank Holland has been speaking with multiple executives, and he joins me now with what they are saying. Hi, Frank.
Hey there, Kelly. You know, Dow Transports have far underperformed after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank on concerns of the impact of tightening credit and, of course, rising rates for their retail and manufacturing customers. The CEO of GXO, logistics provider for Apple, Nike, and Verizon, says current demand is softening as companies look to cut costs long-term and adjust to those higher interest rates in the near term.
Right now, what we're seeing is customers are being thoughtful about this softer macro environment, these higher interest rates. But we're also seeing no end of big, strategic, transformational projects.
Those transformational projects include nearshoring, but trucking rates still falling 27% year over year. However, they are 4% higher than the same time back in 2020, so pricing remains strong. But Judy McReynolds, CEO of ArcBest, expects rate pressure to continue to hit demand.
Depending on their leverage level, you know, they will be impacted by raising interest rates. It just provides less cash, you know, to invest in their business and do other things. And so we're expecting that to have an impact on demand.
Well, as you heard there, they talked about many different things. Some of the reasons behind this outlook include, here's some different things: high inventories, a pullback in consumer spending, the economy detox from the pandemic trucking boom, which that one's interesting to me, a 15-year-over-year decline in retail demands, and then they said unemployment for truck drivers could reach even more higher numbers. However, some say that we are not in a recession just yet, as we see prices of goods increasing through multiple industries. So we'll start out, we'll ask Stacy first. Do you think this great trucking recession is warning us about our economy?
Yeah.
I have a trouble listening. I have a trouble saying that recession because I don't think of that as a recession, but I guess it really is.
Right. I think it's a great indicator. When I came across this this story, it totally made sense that during COVID we didn't have enough supply because there weren't the workers in there. But the truckers are what kept everything moving and kept everything flowing. But now there's not enough stuff. There's still not enough stuff, but now the truckers, it's like they're fighting over who gets to transport it, and it's just going to cause more prices to rise. And so I don't know that this is going to be the reason that we could possibly go into a recession. But yeah, it makes total sense that this could definitely be a warning that we're getting closer to that tipping point.
So is that what you mean by where they're talking about the detox? So basically they're pulling back because they already had so much stuff and then the pandemic kind of hit.
During the pandemic, we had a huge influx of demand.
Right.
There wasn't the supply, but there was a demand. So we said something funny.
No, he pulled up the wrong camera.
Oh, it's all good.
Caught me in a moment of excitement.
But now that people have spent their savings and all of that COVID money,
Right.
they're not spending as much.
Makes sense.
So now there's a supply and less of a demand.
Right.
So it's
And we've kind of talked about the unemployment of truck drivers. I mean, that rate
Right.
of, these, like we were talking about, I think, certain like Yellow and those were going out of business. And so you got
Yes,
truckers that are going to be looking. But I never
bankruptcy.
heard, I thought someone bought them out and then I never heard if those other drivers were picked up because they were talking about other companies were going to be sitting there waiting. So what do you think, Jim?
I think the whole thing is all out of whack.
Yes,
it's not just
absolutely.
trucking.
No, I agree.
So we've got this going on with trucking. We've got a lot of people are trying to ship by rail now.
Yeah.
Then we have, but it's not just trucking. It's every. If you look at every part of our economy, it's a miracle that we're not in a recession.
Correct.
Because of all the
Right.
stuff that's going on.
Yes.
But I think what you're looking at is almost what you would, I think we're heading for a great reset, if you would look at it that way.
Okay.
So think of employers can't find employees.
Right.
We had the COVID thing, which kind of triggered all this. That was kind of
Yes.
the catalyst that threw everything out of whack. So employers can't find employees. You've got a whole boatload of employees that don't want to work more than 2 hours a day.
Correct.
Now we're replacing a lot of people with AI machines. We've talked about that, robots. Then we have a crime wave that's out of control.
Yes.
We have to replace the way we're doing a lot of things within retail stores. So you're starting to see where the retail stores are either locking things up or they are putting pictures is the latest.
Right.
Here's a picture of the item, but then you have to ask for it. So it changes your whole employee strategy, right? Because you're not stocking shelves anymore.
Correct.
Everything's in the back. All you got to do is go get it. So now you need fewer employees. Then you've got these car manufacturers. I had to throw that in there.
That's me.
But
The strike has not helped anything.
you got the strike going on. There's a parts shortage because nobody's
People stop spending.
all sorts of
Right.
stuff.
Yes.
Now, what is odd to me is that Christmas is coming up. That part's not odd. I realize that happens every year. But the odd part is, and we were talking a little about this before the show, there is a huge push on Christmas this year that we haven't seen in years. If you notice all the Christmas commercials, not only did they start early this year, there are tons of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they are full tilt. Even the Christmas shows and movies are starting up. We're not even to Thanksgiving yet.
Well, and I went somewhere, I can't remember where I went, and I pulled around to pick something up, and they already had the Black Friday. They were already like that. It was a Friday. It was last Friday. And it was like, okay, Black Friday has now been moved. If you're picking your Black Friday item up, you can come get it. They bring it to your car. So you don't even have to go in and get it anymore. So I can't remember what store
Wow.
that was, but it was like they were having Black Friday like last Friday. Like it's every Friday
Yeah.
now, I think.
Yeah.
It's not just the traditional after Thanksgiving.
Well, which that all fits into that whole supply and demand thing.
Right, they're
The
trying
demand
to-
is down, so they're trying
Correct.
to lure you in
Well,
to
but-
buy and spend.
But doesn't all these things we talked about last week about Amazon, right?
Right.
And that,
the price.
the price thing. But
Yeah.
now you hear you talking about, okay, you got to go into a store, look at a picture, and then ask for that. Well, I can sit home and get on my
Correct.
phone, and
True.
so you're making it easier for Amazon to do what they do.
That's true.
Because they have their own semis, they have their own warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
And they can get it to you that same day. If you order it in the morning, you could have it by 5 o'clock at night.
And that's where I
that's
talk
the
about
issue.
that's where I talk about the great reset. Everything is different than it was
It is.
to go back 4 years ago. Everything is completely different. And we're kind of working our way out of this, but there's going to come a point where it's going to come to a head where,
Yeah.
I still, and I go to our chamber on this all the
Oh,
time
my.
because I still don't understand. There is a huge number of people who are still sitting at home that don't work. And I don't know how they do it. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
where
don't
they
either.
get their money from, how they do. But eventually that is going to come to an end. No matter how they're doing it, it's going to stop. And then you're going to have probably what's the reverse. You're going to have employers. So you talk about who has the edge, right? Is it employers or the employees? Right now, it's kind of the employees because nobody can hire. But that always rotates.
Right.
And here before long, it's going to be the employers that are going to have the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then the employees are going to be the ones that are kind of hanging out there in the wind. So that's where we have the great reset. What says the chamber?
Well, I was looking to see if I could find the information that I actually heard a presenter talking about the workforce and why we're seeing this labor shortage, and she had an incredible slide about it and all the information, and I'm pretty sure I took a photo of it and sent the answer to Jim.
I think you did. I think you
But
sent
I was
that
trying to
us.
find it so I could share it with you, but I'm not seeing it right now. But
Well, I would
there
like
are
to
reasons
say, I'd
for
like
it.
to say that I kept it.
I did send that.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting probably in the next year to see as this all kind of starts to reset where this
Right,
goes.
right.
Because the way we shop, I mean, it's kind of become, I'm not going to use the word the new normal. I just did. But it's kind of become, everybody's become accustomed to it. But the way we do things now is completely than the way we did it 4 years ago.
Right.
And part of it's
Right.
because of COVID. Part of it's just simply technology.
Yep.
But
Are we just getting that lazy?
yes,
I mean, I'm not trying. I mean, because like I just told you, Friday I went to pick something up because I didn't want to walk in the store, so I ordered it knowing I could get it the next day,
It's easy.
and it was just the littlest thing.
well, I told you too. I ordered. I can't remember if we talked about it on the
Right.
show, but
No, I don't know if you did.
I had
yeah.
something that I needed. It literally was at a store. I'm not going to say the name of it, but it was at a store that's not 3 miles away, and I just didn't want to go up to the store, so I ordered it and figured I'll just wait a day or two, and I don't have to deal with
Well,
that.
have you all seen the Disney movie Wall-E?
Yeah, I'm no.
Wall-E.
I don't know
So
if I have.
it pretty much predicts where we're headed right now.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah,
They say the Simpsons.
it's interesting
do
because
too,
they're all on a ship, and I don't want to ruin anything if anyone hasn't seen Wall-E, but it's a pretty old movie at this point. But all of these people, they're sitting in these hover chairs. They're all obese. They're in hover chairs. There's a screen in front of them. They don't get up and walk. Everything's on the screen, and they just do that. And these hover chairs just move according to what's on the screen. And the ship is kind of directing, okay, now it's time to go eat. And so all the hover chairs just kind of go. And it's really interesting how there's so many times my husband and I, something will come up and we're like, this is just like on Wall-E.
Right.
So if you haven't seen Wall-E, go see Wall-E.
I have seen it on my little TV guide there where it says Wall-E, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I do know who the Simpsons are, though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You don't want to watch the Simpsons?
No. Let's not do that one.
The Simpsons.
I agree with that. But
the
they do
Simpsons
predict
predict
things.
a lot of
There's
stuff
a lot of
too,
things,
yeah.
yes.
But
Well, this recession stuff, I'm wondering, because we keep
This all
we
ties
keep
in,
tiptoeing
right?
towards it, right?
don't
They've
wanna
been
say the
talking
word.
about it for a few
but
years
they said
now.
we're out of it.
Well, so I'm wondering, are we going to get to a point where, like, are we going to stick our toe in the recession pool and for like 2 months, and then we bounce back out and everything's fine? How is this? What do you think? How is this going to go down?
I don't know. One candidate said that in 6 months he can have the country back to where it was.
And I
I'm
don't
not going to
doubt
say a
it.
name, but one of them said that.
Well, yeah.
You've probably heard that.
Well, I have heard that, and well, I will just say
Find it hard to
this, and then because Brian's waving and yelling and all that stuff, something's got to give.
Yes.
Something has got to give.
I feel like we're on the. I believe it was a quote from Titanic. I feel like we're at a precipice. But be that as it may, I got up this morning and I decided that I'm against picketing, but I don't know how to show it.
Are you going to protest protesting?
But I was going to say, what do you think about protesting?
Well, depends on what we're protesting. But as you all know, the protesting continues. It seems like folks are protesting more. But when does it go too far, and what are the results? We'll talk about it next here on Kearney Live.
Migraine headaches, the throbbing in your temples, the pounding in your forehead, extreme sensitivity to light and sound. Your neck feels so tight it could snap off. Oh, the debilitating pain.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Strathman with Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, and I've been practicing chiropractic health in Kearney for over 22 years. When you come to see me, I identify what's wrong and determine if I can help you. If I can, I create your personalized plan for relief.
When you have pain, you can make an appointment by calling 816-628-6738, or you can visit the office at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center. Heal yourself.
More reliable power means more of what you love. You expect your lights and appliances to turn on at the flip of a switch, and so does Platte Clay Electric Cooperative. That's why Platte Clay is working hard to make power more reliable in the Northland. We exist for one purpose: to empower communities and energize life with safe and reliable energy. To learn more about their plan to reduce outages across the Northland, visit www.pcec.coop/reliability. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
Why should you come work for Cornerstone Building Brands? Just ask our winning team.
We are the largest manufacturer of exterior building products in North America.
We help make the products that go on homes and commercial buildings all around us.
Our building solutions are the cornerstone of our community.
There's great opportunities to learn and advance in your career.
I am always learning new skills.
We receive competitive pay and great benefits from day one.
But what really sets us apart?
It's got to be our team.
Definitely the team.
We work every day to make a difference in our communities.
So if you're ready to get to work,
we want you.
We want you. Sé parte de este grupo ganador.
Chúng tôi vui vẻ này nhà tin từ khu phía Bắc.
Trở thành một đội chiến thắng của chúng tôi.
Come join us today.
As the increase to protests seem to be on the rise, so does the lack of tolerance. It is now affecting everyone, even, believe it or not, parolees. Watch this clip.
Climate protesters taking their activism to the street this week, completely blocking traffic on the I-495 beltway in Montgomery County, Maryland, and demanding that President Biden declare a climate emergency. Now, that protest prevented a parolee from getting to work. Watch.
No, I'm about to get locked up for 54 years for my parole if I don't make my job. And y'all are so inconsiderate. 495. Yo. We're live streaming right now. Come on, man. One lane. I'm asking one lane before I go to the prison, bro. One lane before
Now, that parolee was arrested after he became agitated and tried to physically remove, allegedly, some of the protesters. Richard.
Wow, that's very emotional. So, Jim, quickly, what do you think should happen to people who drive through protest areas to go about their daily lives?
Motor on. Just keep going. So if you want to protest something, that's fine. If you want to stand on a sidewalk and walk around with a sign, do whatever makes you happy. But the minute you start to interfere with other people and their lives, now in this case, it to me is ironic that you have a parolee, somebody who has violated the law. I don't have any idea what that guy did, but at some point, he's trying to now do the right thing and is at risk of losing his parole because some idiot has decided to sit in the middle of the street and block his ability to get to work. But forget him for a second. What about everybody else that's in line? How many meetings were missed? You don't know what we've seen many cases where ambulances are trying to get through.
Yes.
The one thing I don't understand, well, there's a lot of things I don't understand, especially as it relates to this. The people who glue their hands to the street,
that's
leave them there. I don't understand why we're going through all this trouble of you see them bring out this equipment and try to cut it up, and then you got to repair the street. If you leave about 2 or 3 of them there, I don't think that's going to be a problem. When they go on, and why are you laughing, Brian?
Brian laughs a lot.
He does. So when you didn't laugh at my joke when I said I was against picketing.
Funny.
There's that. But the other thing is when you go out and you have the people who are destroying priceless pieces of art,
yes,
or things that cannot be replaced,
right?
And
spray painting them.
Yeah, spray painting them, or they don't like. I saw one where they went down to it was a boat dock, and they found the real expensive yachts and started spray painting them. What does that have to do with anything? So, number one, I think you're ruining your cause.
Yes.
Because you're turning people against you. Number two, I don't think you should be able to do things like the ones that disrupted the tennis game, basketball games. This thing of people disrupting everybody else because they don't like something has got to stop.
Well, it's amazing. They asked that young man to contact the Biden administration for them. And that young man may be going back to jail because he's missing his parole. If he misses that job that he's paroled to be at, because they're going to call a parole officer. That parole officer is not going to care that someone was sitting in the road, because I'm sure this guy, whatever.
Or believe it.
Right, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Or believe it and
Right.
say, you just didn't want to go to work, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're going back. Whatever the crime was, whatever he did. But it's just, that's frustrating to me. And how do the police just sit back and allow them to sit there on the road?
Well, and that's part of our whole.
But I don't see that.
That's part of our whole. We have completely, until we get a handle on this, we have completely gone full tilt crazy. Because
This is so
do you
different.
think that would have worked in 1962?
Well, that's what I was going to
Never.
say, because I remember taking my boys to something that in Cleveland, they were having it at the arena. I don't know if it was monster trucks or whatever it was, and people were protesting something across the street, but they were on the sidewalk with their signs, doing their thing. And I remember my young sons go, "Dad, what are they doing?" And I said, well, that's a right that you have. They're protesting and they're doing it properly. They weren't yelling at anybody. They weren't blocking people from getting to where they need to be. this stuff's crazy. It's just, it's amazing that they get away with it, and they do. They get away with it because the guy that pulled the guy that's the parolee, he's probably the one that would get arrested.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
That's what's frustrating to me because I'm like you, leave them there.
Do you want to introduce the next video clip?
Well, I was going to say, so here's the thing. It's getting out of control. And watch this and see what some of the results are, and then we'll get your opinion on that.
Yeah.
Protesters fighting for change found themselves fighting traffic Monday night. They tried to stop a pickup truck from driving straight through them.
We had the street blocked off. We had marshals that were put in place and trained to keep us safe in various ways.
About 100 people were out protesting in front of the Durham County Jail, many of them standing in the street without a permit.
Protests in general are just a symbolic way of showing that the people are not happy.
On Tuesday, police said the driver will not be cited for pushing his truck through the crowd.
I'm not surprised that a 4x4 could run through 12 human beings and the cops not even flinch.
In an email, Councilwoman Jillian Johnson asked police if there are any plans to pursue charges, adding, "It is my understanding that simply standing in the road does not give drivers the right to intentionally run you over." When asked why the protesters didn't have a permit, Jackson says her group, Durham Beyond Policing, does not work with police.
Yeah, we don't condone police assistance.
She says she doesn't know what charges the driver should face, but this incident is not going to stop future protests.
In terms of moving forward, we're going to continue to show resistance because we have no choice.
And no one was injured during this incident, but a bill just passed in the House last week that says a driver who hits a demonstrator on a public street during a protest could avoid any liability for that person's injuries. In Durham, I'm Derek Lewis, CBS North Carolina.
Every morning I wake up and think that I've seen the dumbest thing that I'll ever see. And then some video like that. That woman contradicted herself 6 times in one interview.
Yes.
She said, "Why won't the police do anything? But we don't work with the police." But, you know, here's the thing. There's no doubt that a truck would run over people standing in the street. Then don't stand in the street. Do you know why they don't put crosswalks on the interstates?
That's why I'm just going to ask a question. Isn't that considered jaywalking?
Well, you can't.
Okay, you're standing.
You can't block the street.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the rule doesn't apply to me if I don't want the rule to apply to me. But then when someone runs over me because I broke the rule, I want them charged or whatever, but not me. Oh, and I don't work with the police.
And you know, the minute a police officer lays a hand on those people that are sitting or standing in the way, it's just going to blow up.
There's going to be something
and that's what
on
I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah. And so the police don't want to touch it.
We have lost it. We've lost all control.
There's no fear.
That's the
There's
thing.
just no fear. They just feel they can go out there and do like the gluing. When I saw that, the gluing their hands, and I'm like you, just leave them. You know, I mean, put cones around them and drive around them. I'm not trying to be mean. How can you? And then I remember they were getting the guy's hand off because you were talking about that, and the guy was like screaming because it hurt so bad what they were doing.
What did you think was going to happen?
That's what I said. I'm like,
Well, it was kind of like, so remember at the, I think it was a basketball game, the people glued their feet to the stadium. So what I would have done was left them there. So when the game's over, everybody leaves, good night, and there's 4 people sitting there and they can't go anywhere because their feet are glued to the floor. You do that a couple of times and this whole thing will go away.
well,
but
there's
if you
no precedent.
That's the thing. You keep catering to them. They're just
Exactly.
going to
There's
keep
no
doing it.
precedent of if you do this, here's the consequences, right? Back in the day, I will say back in the day, there was consequences if you did wrong.
That's
I remember, you don't talk back. You don't do this. I mean, but today there's no fear.
Well, that's because
that's where tolerance has gotten us.
Yeah. So we got into this, everybody be nice to everybody. Everybody, we've gone completely overboard to the fact that you cannot say anything to anybody. You can't do anything as a recourse. It's kind of like, and we'll talk about it in the next segment, but you get the people who, like the lady on the airplane who said that guy's not real. Remember her?
Yeah.
Or that person's not real.
Right.
those incidents, they catch a lot of attention, but what you fail to realize is how much money one incident like that costs. Because all the people who are on that flight who now have to get off,
right?
What did they miss? What did they not make it to? What business meeting? What happened that they didn't make? Then keep in mind, those planes go to one city, then the next one, then the next one.
You're bumping.
So you bumped the whole system out because one person lost their mind. You start making them, do you think they could financially pay for everything that was lost on one flight, much less everything else they did down the road?
Right.
You start zinging these people and make them be accountable. For what they're doing, this stuff will stop.
It'll go
immediately.
away. And protest the right way.
If you want to protest,
Correct.
protest
Protesting
the right
is
way.
fine. Just
But
make
if
sure you're doing it the right way.
And the problem is you're testing everyone's patience and people are losing it. And that's where you're going to get these cars that drive through people. And
Well, and that happened in 19. One GM person got killed in Tennessee because they were outside of where they should have been, and the person was driving didn't see him and hit him. And the person, I guess, wasn't at fault, but he hit and killed. And I knew the guy because he was from my plant in Ohio, but he was not where he was supposed to be. And that's the first thing they tell people when like the strike was going on: stay in your area and don't stop anybody from on the road or getting in and out of the facility.
Right.
Don't get yourself in a situation where what we see
have to lose
happening
life.
here is happening.
Yes.
Right.
Right. So it's.
Well, so here's the question: because we talked about travel, we have Thanksgiving travel coming up here in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
Do you think, with all this going on, can we get through this holiday season without any disruption? And how is travel going to be? We'll talk about it coming up next.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
You may have noticed your shoulder hurting, or maybe a kink in your neck. The culprit may be looking right at you. Your phone. Think about how you use it. Does that pain feel familiar to you?
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Strathman with Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, and I've been practicing chiropractic health in Kearney for over 22 years. When you come to see me, I identify what's wrong and determine if I can help you. If I can, I create your personalized plan for relief.
When you have pain, you can make an appointment by calling 816-628-6738, or you can visit the office at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center. Heal yourself.
Electric cooperatives are different. We have a sense of pride in our local community and support the people who live here. That's why Platte Clay Electric Cooperative supports local schools, takes an active role in economic development, and works hard to keep costs down for its members. We exist for one purpose: to empower communities and energize life with safe and reliable energy. To learn more about how Platte Clay Electric Cooperative is working to achieve that mission, visit www.pcec.coop. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative.
Why should you come work for Cornerstone Building Brands? Just ask our winning team.
We are the largest manufacturer of exterior building products in North America.
We help make the products that go on homes and commercial buildings all around us.
Our building solutions are the cornerstone of our community.
There's great opportunities to learn and advance in your career.
I am always learning new skills.
We receive competitive pay and great benefits from day one.
But what really sets us apart?
It got to be our team.
Definitely the team.
We work every day to make a difference in our communities.
So if you're ready to get to work,
We want you.
We want you. Sé parte de este grupo ganador.
Chúng tôi đuôi này ya tin từ khu phía bờ sĩ.
trở thành một đội chiến thắng của chúng tôi.
Come join us today.
AAA forecast there's going to be 55.1 million people traveling, including more than 49 million Americans driving between Wednesday and Thursday around Thanksgiving and the Sunday after the holiday. American Airlines expects 7.8 million passengers over a 13-day period, over 70,000 flights. United, they are expecting 5.9 million passengers flying on their planes in the 11-day surge period. The airline said that since the recovery of the pandemic, the holiday travel period is getting longer and the demand is less concentrated on the peak travel days. So the question is, as we approach the holidays, we'll start with you, Brian. Are you going anywhere this holiday season on Thanksgiving?
Yes, we're driving, actually.
So you're part of the 55.1 million people who will be driving.
Right, we're going to Iowa. Would you like to sing about it?
No. But for
Come
bonus
on.
points, if you can figure out what Brian is referring to,
That's
put it
right.
in the comments, no matter how you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo,
Yes.
whatever, put it down there in the comments, and you will win absolutely nothing. Where are you going, Stacy?
I'm going to my mother's house, which is a block away.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't know that yet. So if she's
Now she
listening,
knows.
She does now.
Mom, you got Thanksgiving back. So.
We'll
What
have
about
part
you?
of, we'll have part of the group at the house. Yeah, we're not traveling.
So
I enjoy that time staying home.
you know, that's interesting because out of the four of us, none of us are going anywhere. Of course, we travel all the
Right,
time, so
right.
we like to stay home.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, do nothing. But I'm interested. I will say this because we obviously we see the travel numbers. Travel not only over the holiday, but just in general is higher. It's much higher. The planes are packed. People are
Interesting.
traveling. It's like everybody's gotten out. You see a lot of people who are doing vacations. It's like the floodgates opened and everybody's back out trying to relive the thing.
But see, isn't that interesting? We were just talking about recession and spending is down,
People
but
not having
not
money?
on things like this.
People not having money.
Right.
They're
Well,
saying extend it long.
and that's where
longer holidays.
That's where I
Yes.
don't understand what's going on. So if you're an economist, everything that you've grown up to learn, live, and know has gone out the window because nothing correlates with everything else. So the experts were saying earlier this year, recession.
Right.
Now they're saying, yep, not going to happen because everything dynamically is different than all the things that you look as indicators are just off the board wrong. And I'm not an economist, obviously, but I'm as confused as anybody else because everything that you look at from a business standpoint is wrong as it relates to
Right.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So businesses can't find employees. People aren't, but at the same time, you have people that I can't find a job is what they say, which I've never been able to correlate those two things either. But
And now they're
all
going to
these
go on
people are-
vacation.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
All these people aren't working, but they're going on vacation. You got
Right.
people that are complaining because they work 2 hours and they are exhausted. And yet you wonder, well, how do you get the money to go out and do anything?
And I remember flying into when I first started working here. I flew into Detroit on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and you talk about crazy. That airport, it's a big airport. It was packed with people everywhere, and then a lot of servicemen were coming home. So that was kind of cool because you saw these families there with balloons and all that because they got a break for the holidays.
Right.
Seeing them getting off a plane as I'm walking down there, I see these
That's cool.
soldiers coming down and getting these hugs and all that. But I could not believe because there again, I don't really fly on the holidays, and how many people actually do? And that was 13 years ago, and they're still showing the numbers are crazy. And how do they make it all work? Like you said, because if you have one incident, bumping and backing everything up, it's crazy. I thought more people would drive, to be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, I thought driving would be a little more.
I just want to know where everybody's getting the money.
I want to know where they're all
because
going.
You have all the people that well, that's my thing. But if you're going to fly, you have to have money to fly.
True.
But you have all these people who they're not working. They're sitting at home. I'm like, how did you get money to travel?
Well, and I assume they're not going alone. They're taking
you wouldn't think.
members of their family.
I don't know. We're going to figure.
So does that mean that Thanksgiving is no longer important to people? That they're foregoing Thanksgiving to be able to go on
just get away for a couple
to go
days.
sit on the beach?
Well, these numbers say that the Thanksgiving numbers are going to be up.
So they're taking advantage. You're saying they're taking advantage of the break, and they're not really maybe spending it with family.
They're not having
going somewhere
turkey and
for
mashed
a
potatoes. They're
four-day
having
weekend on a beach,
right,
or wherever skiing, whatever they're doing. Because I know Colorado has become a
there you go
popular spot.
Yeah.
I say we have Thanksgiving on a beach. Stay with us. Our final thoughts. Final thoughts are coming up next.
Explore a place to visit. Explore knowledge. Explore fun. Explore relaxation. Explore adventure. Explore a hometown. Explore Kearney, Missouri.
Kearney Bulldog football is here, and you can listen to the game with live play-by-play action on the Bulldog Radio Network, right here on 102.7 FM, or our live stream on the KPGZ mobile app or at 1027KearneyMo.com. The Bulldog Radio Network will broadcast the game live on Saturday, November 18th, as the Bulldogs take on the Nevada Tigers. The 102.7 pregame show starts at 12:40 p.m. and the kickoff is at 1 p.m. Kearney Bulldog football. Catch the fever.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. It's time for our final thoughts. I almost forgot what program we were on. Time for our final thoughts. Lynn, you're up first.
Well, I just wanted two congratulations. Jim hit on one earlier. But first, the Kearney boys swimming and diving team went to state last week, and they placed in the top 20, right? And then Whitaker Stanford, I want to make sure I say that right. He actually won state, so he was first placed in there. And then Jim hit on early, the Kearney Bulldog football team, district champs and over Smithville. And now they play Saturday at 1 o'clock against Nevada.
Yep.
Is that how you say it? And 102.7, you can hear it on there, but you won't hear Mr. Jim. So
I won't be
there. The voice of the Bulldog won't be there.
It's kind of a bitter thing, but we will carry the game.
Yeah, the game will be there, though.
Mike and Kelly will be there. So, yeah, congratulations to the Bulldogs. I will say, Lynn, we've talked about this before. Kearney schools, their programs constantly send out winners.
That's
winning.
Right.
And it's not just athletics; it's everything.
Well, they ended up like 17th out of 54, I think, teams in swimming. That's That's pretty impressive.
Well, and it's not just sports. So
Right.
the
Everything.
band,
Fine arts.
Yes.
choir, acting,
Yeah.
All
debate,
of it.
you name it.
That's right.
Stacy, what do you have?
Well, speaking of acting in the fine arts, Kearney High School is putting on the musical The Little Mermaid this weekend. Actually, it starts tonight, Wednesday night at 7 p.m. There's one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then because of the district game, there's going to be a matinee on Sunday at 2 o'clock instead of on Saturday. So go
I'll be there Friday.
support them. And you know what? I think it would be really cool if K102.7 had the musical on there. I think you guys should cover that. So if anyone wants to sponsor that, give Brian a call.
I'll be there Friday night.
So people should sponsor Lynn going?
I don't know about
Do you want me to
that,
sing?
but
No.
I'm trying to think of a Little Mermaid song.
If we can-
I've seen it many times.
if we can cover basketball and football, we
Sebastian.
can cover The Little Mermaid.
And okay. Like to remind you that the Kearney Family Foundation is still looking for folks to adopt families for the holidays, and I will say that they are they're doing really well. I think there's only 17 left.
Right.
Wow,
And we
nice.
just talked about this with Russell Wentz last week, and already they are filling up, but there still is a need. So go to kearneyfamilyfoundation.org, had to make sure it was an org, .org for more information there and help out for Christmas. That's all the time we have today. Be sure to join Mike Davis and I tomorrow. We'll be with Coach Minnick. We'll talk about the upcoming championships, and then joining us for Kearney Live next week, just before Thanksgiving and all that food.
Yes.
Stacy's going to cook a turkey and bring it in for us, and we're going to share it. We'll
Wow.
have that next week. But thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Okay.